Welcome back to Silver Thread Sewing. I'm Diane. This is Friday Sews. So I hope everyone's well. I appreciate you stopping by my channel. I actually, believe it or not, have a couple things to show you that I've gotten finished this week. Nothing life-changing, but I'm tickled to death that I've been able to sew some this week. And then at the end, I'll throw in just a little update about my eye and all that. But I'm excited that this week we can talk about sewing. If you're interested, I'm wearing the Friday Pattern Company sagebrush top, and it's just made in this red flannel that I got from Fabric Mart Fabrics a long time ago. Also, before I get too far into this, I want to say thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room. She is the creator of Friday Sews, and she has certainly done us all a great service by doing that and allowing us to join in. So one thing that I had worked on, and this is something I finished a while back, but I didn't like it, and I started to just leave it. I left it for a long time, and I thought, well, I'm just not going to pick that back up. But I love this fabric. It was the brown corduroy jumper. So it's So Simple by McCall's, the 9578, and this little jumper. And I was making the shorter version. And I had a viewer that kind of cautioned me that the corduroy, the wide well brown corduroy that I had chosen might be too heavy for this jumper with the pockets the way they were, that it might not hang right. And boy, was she ever right. It looked terrible. It just stuck away, and it made me look, I just didn't like it. Plus, I had made it too big. It was just too big all over. So I left it for a few weeks and didn't touch it, and then I decided I love that fabric and I don't want it to beat me. I don't want to give up that easily. So I took that thing apart. Every piece, understitching, top stitching, everything. Took it completely apart, and I removed those pockets on the sides. Let me get it and I'll show you. So this is my second attempt at making this jumper fit me. Now, I took it apart and cut out a smaller size. So I had done a medium in the top, and then I graded out to a large through the hips. And it was just big all over. Now, I went ahead and cut the pattern down as much as I could. I went down to a medium throughout, and then took it in a little bit more at the top. I couldn't really go down to a small because the way that it was already cut out, it would have been hard to do that, and I was afraid of messing it up with the grain of the fabric and all that. So I cut down every seam as much as I could and restitched it, and it's still not small on me. It's still pretty good sized. But what I did, I took those pockets off at the sides. Now, it did mean the way that those pockets were made, I didn't have any more of this fabric, so I had to use those pieces to add on a little bit here at the bottom side. So I have this weird little panel right here on each side, back and front. And I'll put some pictures in so you can see how it looks. But I'm pretty pleased with it now. It fits a lot better through here. It's still too wide from strap to strap, but I took it in as much as I could with the princess lines. And I just couldn't bring that in. Somebody else might have been able to, but I couldn't. And I didn't want to take a chance on completely destroying it after making it twice. So, but I will wear it now, and I'm happy with it. It's shorter. So I plan to wear it with brown high boots and probably leggings or tights or something underneath it. And I've got some fabric. Let me grab it. So you may recall when I made this the first time, I was trying to make a little butterscotch color little t-shirt to go with it, a long sleeve, with some fabric that I had gotten from Walmart. And I messed that up to the point that it just couldn't be salvaged. It was a mess, and I couldn't pick it out. So anyway, I have this piece of fabric, and I don't know where this came from. I'm thinking Walmart in one of the bundles, but it's some sort of knit. And it's a fairly lightweight knit, but it's got a brown background, and then it's got the yellows and the pinks and a little bit of blue. And I just thought if I could get a t-shirt, a long sleeve t-shirt made, I think that would look really, really pretty together. So that's what I'm working on next, is trying to get a little shirt made to go with this jumper. Now, another thing that I did differently to this one, the pattern called for neck facings and armhole facings. And I knew from the first version I made that I didn't like that. It just made it too bulky. So what I did, I cut, let me take it off the hanger. I cut some bias binding out of a piece of a linen fabric that I had. It was just a scrap is all that I had. So I bound the neck, the armholes, and I even used it to do the hem, so I wouldn't lose any length, or very, very tiny little bit of length is all that I lost, because it is shorter than the original version was. So I think that I have done the best I could to save this, and I'm quite happy about it. And if I can get the little t-shirt made, I'll stick a picture in next time of the t-shirt with it. But I'll put some pictures of this in at some point. So another project that I had talked about a few weeks ago and am just now getting finished was a vest. And I had some pre-quilted fabric that I wanted to use. And I used New Look 6308. And I was just making version A. But when I got into this pattern, I realized that it has a side back piece. So it has the center back piece and then two, it would be a side back panel for each side. And I didn't want to do that. So what I did, I just laid the pattern pieces together minus the seam allowance. So I had one piece, and I just cut the back out in one piece and then used the front for the front. But I didn't like the neckline being rounded, so I did kind of make it a little bit lower. And this is how it turned out. Now, it is reversible, and I had some really good suggestions on how to bind the seams. And I'm not sure that I did it the way that it should have been done, but it's finished so that it could be reversible. Still has lint on it. So if you can see that, I did just use store-bought bias binding, and I finished the inside. So this could be used as a reversible jacket, and I'll put pictures in. But I left the bias binding coming to the front on the armholes and all the way around the edges and the back. And I think that looks really good and around the back of the neck. I think it just kind of breaks up this busy print a little bit. At least I think so. I probably would never wear it with a patterned shirt. I would always wear it with, you know, something solid color. But I could finish it so that it would close in the front, maybe with some kind of little closure or something. But I don't know that I will. I just wanted it to be a little vest to wear. I think it would look cute with black pants and a black turtleneck maybe. But I'll put some pictures of me wearing that in. But I'm real happy to finally have these two projects finished, finally. So I still have a few things cut out that that I had started quite a while back. I have a Lisbon cardigan. I have a couple of the Love Notions patterns, some tops and things cut out that I still want to finish before I get into anything major. But I do have one other pattern that I've never made, and I wanted to share it with you because I do have some fabric that I think is what I'm going to make this in. But this is the Style Arc Kelly dress. Now, I know this is not a new pattern, but it's new to me. I've never made it before. But I just think this is so pretty. And I would like to make the dress. And I don't know, I probably would make the long sleeve just because it would mostly always be worn in, you know, in the later months, fall and winter. But I have some fabric that I think would be really pretty in this dress. I love this detail. You can see it better here. The crossover twist. I just think that is so pretty. So the fabric that I would like to make the Kelly dress in is this knit that came from Walmart in a fabric bundle. And it's a really pretty green. It's a thin knit, so I think it would do that twist really pretty. The only thing is, with this kind of dress, it has this center back seam. And when anything is that fitted in the back, it would show every lump and bump of mine in this lightweight of fabric, in this knit fabric. But I have a plan for that. So I want to make, and I don't know what pattern I would use for this, so if you think of one that you think would be great, I'm sure I could use the Lisbon cardigan, but I don't want it to come straight out like a cardigan. I'd rather it to kind of be, I don't know what that's called, just like a facing all the way around the front. But I have this piece of fabric, and I think I got this at Walmart, if I'm not mistaken. I showed you this and the green, I think, once before. That's why I don't do plans video, because I change my mind. And then I forget what I plan to make. But this green with this green, I don't know how well that's going to show up because it's really dark down here. But this is just kind of it's not a mint green exactly, but it's a lighter green. And then this kind of sagey color. I just think they would be really pretty, and make a kind of a long cardigan, almost a duster length, if I have enough fabric. And just make just a plain simple little sweater to go over it. And then all you would see in the front is this twist on the dress, and you wouldn't see the back where it's kind of more fitted and more straight. So I don't know if that'll work or not, but that's kind of something that I'm thinking about. So we have had snow here this week. Quite a bit. This is probably the most we've had in the last couple of years. We've had probably 5-6 inches of snow, and it was in the single digits this morning. It was like 7 degrees, I think, and it's supposed to be colder than that in the morning. So we've been out a little bit, and I took some pictures of the snow on Monday and Tuesday, so I'll try to insert those. It's really pretty, but it's been a really wet, heavy snow, so it stuck to all the tree limbs, and we've had a lot of people who have had power outages and just roads a mess. Our power flickered a lot, kind of would act like it was going to go off. So I got my little battery operated lamps out and flashlights and candles and all the things, but we never needed it because ours never did completely go off and stay off. But few people were without power, but our electric linemen have really earned their keep this week. So I hope that they're all safe, and I hope they get a break. So we've had the storm that came in the first part of the week, Monday evening, Monday night, Tuesday, and then another one that started last night into today. So we've had a pretty good blast of winter, and now I think next week it's supposed to be in the 50s. So, you know, our little area here in the mountains, you might have 1 degree below zero and 50 degrees all in the same week, and we've had rain and sleet and snow and sunshine, so we get a lot of different weather here on the mountain, but it has been beautiful. And last thing I'll do is update you a little bit on my eye. It is no worse. It had improved some that the last Friday Sews video that I did, it had improved some. And it's not reverted. It's not gotten any worse. So how thankful am I? And everybody that has been so kind. I know some of you have put me on your prayer list at church, and some of you have been praying and sending me good wishes. And I just thank you so much for your compassion and your kindness. And I am so thankful, and just praise the Lord that I can see enough to sew, and I can drive, and I can read. My eye gets tired pretty easily. By nighttime, it's usually getting pretty worn out. But as long as I don't overdo anything, so far it's been okay. And I am going to a different doctor. They call it a second opinion, but I'm not expecting a different diagnosis. I'm not expecting a different treatment. I just want to feel like that I have a doctor that I can call if I do have something happen, worsening, and feel like that they will see me, and that they're at least willing to do everything they can to help me keep my vision as long as possible. And I don't really feel that with the other doctor. So I don't dislike her, and I don't mean to put her down. She's different than the other one that I had. And I think once you get attached to one doctor and their way of doing things, it's really hard to switch. So I'm hoping when I get this next appointment at a different office, I'm hoping that they will continue my treatment as had been in the past, and that I feel like I can call on them if I need to. So the question for January 19th is, what difficult sewing technique are you planning to tackle in 2024? And for me, I don't really think it's necessarily a technique as much as it is something that I desperately need to know more about doing, and that is fitting. I would really like to continue figuring out what works for me. I would love to have one of the ditto forms or something like that that is your actual body double. But of course, I can't get one of those. But I would like to continue, like with my little chart, that I get all my measurements and I have it out so I can lay my patterns against it. That really has helped a lot. So I'm thinking starting with length measurements and then going to circumference. But that's my difficult technique, is fitting, because I'm really bad at it. So I don't know, maybe I'll have more videos about what not to do when you sew. So we'll see how that goes. But I was so excited just to get to share a couple things that I had finished and remade this week. And hopefully next week I'll have the little t-shirt and maybe my sweater. And I may even start on this Kelly dress this week if I can get that much done. I don't know. I'm not going to push myself. I want to slow down and enjoy the process. But I hope that you have a great week, and I hope that you get to sew if you want to. And just remember, don't ever quit sewing. Don't ever give up on it, as long as you enjoy the process and can enjoy being creative and using your hands, even if it doesn't turn out the way you want. Because look, you'll never have any money to get into any kind of trouble as long as you sew. Ask me how I know. Thank you all for putting up with me. Thank you for hanging in there with me, and I'll see you soon.